You on your page?
Yeah, you can. I think in a couple weeks you should be able to be back on Nashville like consistently. It'll take like 2 strikes away.
That's right. It's supposed to come off in February, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's up.
All right, Con. All right, hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, first and foremost, before we get started, giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh,
Howell,
him,
Bashem,
Shad.
Yahusha, Bashem,
All right.
Kakatash.
Hey, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who we well and taught us this truth. Okay, and peace, much love, and salutation as always to those for elect. All right, brothers out here in Great Millstone, Nashville. Uh, another lesson through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shema Shai. Those will be edifying. Um, we're just gonna grab into, or not grab, but go into, essentially being consistent in the spirit, man. You know, that spirit of consistency, urgency is very important when dealing with Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, that's what he requires, and ultimately that's what's gonna, Lord willing, we're part of that number. That's what's gonna receive, or give us our salvation. All right, because the men of the Lord, as the scriptures say, speak about the men of the Lord that's written of in the Bible, they're consistent with everything that they do, especially concerning the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, and, teaching the flock, keeping the laws to the best of their abilities, rehearsing the righteous acts, so on and so forth. So I wanted to start with this word, unless you had a precept you wanted to start with, though.
You go ahead.
I wanted to start with this word, and I have a precept to back it up. It's consistency in the Edemon or the online etymology dictionary. Okay, 1590s. Firmness of matter. Literally a standing together or directly.
You on mute. You.
The water. I put my big ass finger push that shit. Salakia. From medieval Latin, consistentia, literally a standing together, directly from Latin, consistentem, to stand firm, a standing position, stop, halt. Okay. And so I have this also too. It says meaning state of being and agreement of harmony. But for that part where it says stand firm, take a standing position, I thought about this. So I'm gonna grab this second Esdras 2, and I'm gonna just jump to the point. You can start at 43. I'm gonna jump to the point real quick. I'll start at verse 45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receiving palms. Okay, so, and this is talking about the elect. Okay, being crowned by, like I said, we started 43. That young man of a high stature, taller than the rest. That's Yahweh Shai. He was setting crowns on the men, the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, those that put on the immortal and confess the names of Yahweh Shema Shai. Verse 46, it says, then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High, it's Yahweh Shai, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. And hey, Ezra is commending and praising the men that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? Which the names that we confess in the earth are Yahweh Shema Shai. And that word, I just Googled stiffly. I Googled stiffly and firm because, like I said, back in that consistency, it said to stand firm. So I actually grabbed that first. having a solid, almost unyielding surface or structure, strongly felt and unlikely to change. Okay, and ultimately, the men of the Lord, they're is strongly felt, unlikely to change. They're not going to change in the doctrine. They're not going to change their belief system just because of what they're going through. At the end of the day, the Most High, we know and we have faith that the Most High is providing for us. So we're going to stand firm on what we believe. That's why ultimately the men of the Lord, the elect, they're not going to take that shit. Okay? And stiffly, real quick, the definition, in a manner that is not relaxed or friendly, in a severe or strong manner. Okay? So we stand very stiffly for the names of Yahweh Bashim Ashai. A severe, strong manner. You know? This thing isn't to be played around with, and we take it very seriously. But that's all I had for that precept and that word.
Come. And it was a beautiful word that Malachi brought out today, consistency. Because when you think about being consistent, having consistency, it builds your confidence. Just if you do something day in and day out, you naturally should get better. No matter what your profession view. Steph Curry, he shoots thousands of free throws. Even though he can shoot free throws, but he still practicing. So if we prophets of the Lord, you should always be in the scriptures, being consistent. Doesn't matter that you read the book of Job, the book of Matthew. Guess what? The greatest athletes, or whatever their craft is, I don't care if you're a rapper or you're an actor, you constantly tuning your craft. Our craft is the scriptures. So we've got to consistently be in this word day in, day out. Here it is. The elder brother from I know it's Karate. I think it's he's the head of the GMS Baltimore camp because you had
or something like that.
so Award brought out the the video talking about Apostle Hart said you got to go through him. But the thing is, he also had brought out the fact that GMS brother had to do 3 videos. But my thing is this: if Apostle Hart is the head of the GMS camp, and if you got a football coach, what does your coach want you to do to get better? So saying do three videos a week and then say, hey, if you can do a video a day, that's you getting better. If you constantly in the scriptures, which this is our profession, you naturally should get better. The Lord will open up more understanding to you because here it is, Apostle Hart, he's pushing us. Same way your coach pushes you to get better. I don't want no mediocre player on my bench. I want you to be the best. Now, if the best for you is 4 videos a week, that's the best for you because everybody can't be Kobe. Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Even though they all NBA players, they have certain limitations. They 5'6" well can't dunk like someone that's 7 feet tall. He has limitations. Doesn't mean that he can't maximize his potential. Just like Apostle, they got the greatest portion. So it doesn't mean a brother, hey, just because you don't have a portion Apostle R had, you still got your portion. And each brother down to me, the brother that just coming in, and we got to be consistently being in this word to do what? Maximize our potential. So we consistently in the word, the Lord is gonna open up more to you so we can all do what? Maximize our potential. That's why I want to read this first precept that Malachi dropped was 2 Peter 1 verse 10. Wherefore that rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling, being consistent, and election sure. For if you do these things, ye should never fail. So what did it say? Give diligence to make your calling, to make my calling, make your call. So each brother has a certain portion. So you got to be consistently in his word. So Lord can build you up so we can go out to the highways and hedges and preach his word. But you got it.
Mm-hmm. I got this real quick. 2 Peter 1, starting in verse 5. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. Let me see. Matter of fact, yeah, because going down, that's what it was. Yep, okay, because I remember now. And so going down, jumping to verse 10. Okay, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. You know, so you got to give diligence to make your calling and election sure. You have to make sure you're doing the most that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
See, because hey, we're all fighting a good fight of faith. You know, we're all dealing within the same. You know, we all have a different hell that we're catching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we know we're in the same battle, man.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, we have to still make sure we're doing our part. We're doing our portion. Like you said, everybody's not gonna be Kobe and Shaq. If you have a whole team full of Kobe and Shaqs, I mean, which really through the spirit, especially in the kingdom, you're gonna have it like that. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? We're all gonna be on a very high level. But even still, it's still gonna be order.
Still order.
Yeah, so
Gotta
you
have a
don't
captain.
have you don't have a starting five of Kobe or Shaq. Like,
Hey,
nah,
that's
you have
a video game where you juice everybody up to 99.
yeah, no, you can't do that. Like, even the hell, even like you mentioned, even the bench players, which realistically too, man, for us younger brothers, because we're still young in this thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, going 3, 4, 5 years. Okay, brothers that are in that span of time. Hey, you're still young in this thing, man. We're the bench players, if you will. But ultimately, we got to realize too and understand. Hey, the bench player gets a ring.
Mm-hmm.
If he's on that team and he's performing his to the best of his ability, because that people try to make fun of the bench players in the NBA and like, oh yeah, they ain't too good, that nigga trash. But
Nah,
you take him, you go on the court with him, he gonna bust your ass, man.
exactly.
you know, and so that's the thing. Now
How many teams in the NBA? Was it like 25?
I think it's
I
like
mean,
32.
32. And they have what? About 18 players, 32 times. I think 17, 18. That's only 544 players. So he's one of the 600 greatest player in the world. Or he in the NBA. If he's sitting on the bench, it's 8 billion people. He's doing pretty good. So he can ride the bench and make that money. So being on the bench, hey,
It's
how
it's
many?
it's 30 teams, 30 NBA teams. Or it says there's approximately 450 players in the NBA. Each one of the 30 NBA teams can have 15 players
15.
on their active roster with replacements for injuries or poor performance.
So yeah.
So yeah, and over a course of a season, over 500 players typically play one or more NBA games. So because shit happens and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But ultimately, yeah, 30 teams is a very small number. So
Yeah.
you're to be considered to be good enough to get on there, even if you're on the bench. It's like, I'm here. It's like shit. And so
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, that's what it is, man. We're part of, you know, we're joining under a league of all stars through the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, you had something else?
Because if you really think about it, we've had certain heads of different camps, to either fall out or get booted out from, GMS Dallas to Mississippi, random other camps. So there were other guys under them that had to eventually move into that so-called starting role. So just because you may be a role player doesn't mean the Lord got you set up in this position to where you're gonna eventually have to lead. So, hey, brothers have to, be consistent because you don't know the Lord could tap you on the shoulder. Say, hey, you're the next man up. So you got to be ready to step into the role. So here it is. That we're not looking for anyone to get fall out, but if it happens, somebody gotta guide that camp or that basically that team, that camp or wherever it is. So somebody got to step into the role. So if this brother was in, he was the second in command, then guess what? He the head. So now somebody got to be second. So everybody's role is shifting up.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody got. That's the reason why we all teach in Great Millstone. It ain't like some of the other camps. Only one person pulling precept, and you got 20 other people with canes and signs, which is nothing wrong with holding signs. But can you break down these precepts?
I think I believe it was Elder Ariala. Might have did a lesson on it. But you do have guys that they hinder the growth of the whole camp because they want to be the end all be all of it, and it's not about that. Ultimately, if you're in a position of leadership, it's to empower everybody that's around you. And that's where people lose that's where the connection gets unconnected. It gets unplugged. You think it's about you, but it's really about the body.
Mm-hmm.
But you got something?
Yeah, I got this precept right here. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Preach the word. Preach the word. Be instant, in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. That's being consistent. That's the epitome of being consistent because here it is. If you take off, let's just say you take the winter off because maybe it's too cold. But we got brothers in Canada. I think it's Saskatchewan. I think that's how you say it. I seen this video this past, I want to say Sunday. I mean, it wasn't snowing then, but snow was on the ground in Canada. Even if it was, 28 degrees, it still was cold out there. This brother is always out there. Instant, in season and out of season. He is consistent. He doesn't take the winter off because he's in a very cold climate. I mean, he's in a cold climate. He's in Canada. It ain't like he's in Florida. Now, this brother is in Canada, consistently bringing the word out. He's not out there for 22 minutes, then packing it up. No. He's having a camp lesson, being consistent. So the brother is consistently preaching the word. So it's no excuse. It's no excuse. I mean, maybe his car's beside him. He may take a little break, warm up, get back out there. But hey, the brother is consistently bringing the word out. So that's the epitome of being consistent. He's not taking months off because he's in a cold climate. Now if it's a blizzard, of course the brother's gonna use wisdom. He's not gonna be out in the blizzard trying to hold the camera. Someone bring it out. No, the brother got common sense. Like, nah, it's a blizzard. So you know what? I'm gonna do a lesson inside the house. But wind ain't blowing. It's cold outside. You bring it out. Brother dropping precepts on the comment board. He's reading the comment. He reading the scriptures off the comment board. Just a normal camp. So that's what it's all about. Being consistent, which is the word of the day. Being instant, in season, out of season. Why do we have to be instant, in season? To reprove, rebuke, and also exhort. So we do it all. If a brother if we're going to exhort, exhort the flock, we do an exhortation. Somebody needs to get reproved, they get reproved. Somebody needs to get rebuked, shit, they got to get rebuked. Here it is. You took the winter off, so no rebukes go out for 3 months.
Yeah. Because what it is too, man, like they don't ultimately the spirit, the spirit moves in a very miraculous and beautiful way because it is cold as hell, but somebody could be it could be a Jake that's walking on the way to his job, or he's on his job, or he's around the area. Something had him around that area today, and then he ends up running into the prophets, and then he gets edified, and now he believes. So it's like you can't, like you said, you can't take the winter off or the hot part of the summer off because there's going to be a lot of, you might be interacting with a lot of jakes during that time, or that one act. Not a lot. I'll say you'll miss out on, possible fruit, which ultimately the Most High is dealing. He's going to get it regardless, but you'll miss out on possible fruit, man, because you're taking a break. The true men of the Lord don't take a break with, going, oh yeah, we ain't gonna go out this month. It's cold. It's like, nigga, this is not even that serious. I got this though. I got a couple. 2 Timothy 3:14. But continue down the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Okay, so continue down the things which thou hast learned. All right, we've learned from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down, so we need to continue in that doctrine, the sound doctrine. Okay, be consistently teaching that sound doctrine, because what you'll see is, and you see it, what I'm saying, if you're paying attention, you'll have guys at one moment they're teaching this sound doctrine, then the next moment they switch it up. Now we're in the new covenant, and now he's King David. So it's like, well, shit. This was never taught. Okay, our teachers never taught us this. And so that's how you know to stray away from those men. Okay. Also, 2 Timothy 2, jumping the chapter ahead. 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 3 and jump down.
Are you finished that? You finished that out? That 14.
Oh yeah, damn. It's a Salaki. I show you. I thought it is Salaki. I'm gonna start back 2 Timothy 3:14, but continue down the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. You want to say something?
No, you finish it
out. Okay, Con. Let me see. I'm gonna jump down to verse 15, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Hamashiach Yahushua. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High. Okay, this is not basement doctrine, as you say, natural, basement garage doctrine. Okay, and it's profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. You can't reprove, correct, and instruct anybody if you take a goddamn winter off. Yay. So you gotta, all scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High. So, there's men on the earth that are inspired by the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai through the Holy Scriptures, okay, to reprove, correct, and instruct, the elect of the nation of Israel.
God, and because like you said, you got brothers speaking about the new covenant. Like we weren't taught that. So there's this video of the Jake where they did a response to where he had a dream about Apostle Tahar. Have you seen any of those videos? I know Apostle Ramlan did like a response to it. Eddie Yashawamba did a response to basically the Jake who it is. He used to be on Elder Manakazab by Comic Book all the time. Like this is when I first came to the truth. Brother was on fire with the precept. I mean, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter what topic we was on. Brother dropped hella precepts. So the scripture said, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of with whom thou has learned. He learned, he learned truth from great millstone. So he went out as the elder was went into the video teaching. I used to tap into his live stream, but he was in Arizona, bringing it out. But I guess when the former head of the Arizona camp got kicked out, he got in contact with him. I don't know what he told him. It just went downhill from there for him. Now, teaching about the new covenant, because that's where the new covenant came from, the former head of the Arizona camp. So
yeah,
but he don't teach no more now. So basically,
so like I was gonna add to you. That's the thing, like don't even go out anymore. So it's like now everybody is running with some shit that is clearly the Most High showing you, nigga, that ain't it.
That ain't it. So the former head who started this whole thing, he's not teaching. So because Elder Yashua, he was previewing his dream. So basically, just kind of give a short version of it. He went into the dream saying Apostle Harden. They came to his house. They brought gifts, menorahs, and all this kind of different things. But then when he went into his dream, he said, basically, they left him. And, Elder Yashua was breaking it down. That's basically when the former head of Arizona left the dude. Like, he's out there all alone by himself. He's bugged the hell out. He teach that we in a new covenant. He don't teach the names anymore. I think he teach the heathens can make it. Like, he's bugged the hell out, and it's like, and I seen this whole progression because we came in about the same time. I seen him on fire for the truth. I saw him going out teaching by himself. Then I saw him. He got hooked up with the former head. And now he's in fucking outer darkness. So within, 2023? So within a 5-year span, that's his progression. Hey, it's scary because he was consistently teaching the word, but now 5 years later, he's bugged the hell out because he got hooked up with the wrong spirit. So now he's bugged the hell out. He's in fucking outer darkness.
Damn. And that's the thing. And then they could take a guy like that and put him up as a leader. Like, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's not consistent.
Nope. He didn't stay. He did not continue in the thing that he was taught. He was not taught.
Yeah.
All the lessons that we was watching from at the time, GMS South Carolina, none of those lessons was about we in the new covenant. None of those lessons talking about the heathens can make it. So he didn't continue in the thing that he was taught. He did not. Because if he had brought that out on the comment board, Elder Menazabah would have rebuked him. He would have got rebuked right then on the spot. But hey, now he's in outer darkness now.
That shit wild, man.
It is. You gonna read? I was gonna get this one here.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get this.
Cause I all I got is I got the rest of the ones that was sent.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna read it. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58.
Yep. Go ahead.
Therefore, my brother, therefore, my beloved brother, not just my brother, my beloved brother. Therefore, my beloved brother, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So here it is. Our labor isn't in vain. It doesn't matter if no one watches this video. It's not in vain. See, that's what people don't understand. How many people on your comment board? It's not in vain. At the end of the day, it can be 0 people on the comment board. Yahweh Shemashah knows what we're doing is not in vain, because what We've uplifted his name. We're not uplifting Jay-Z's name or some random ass person. No, we
We're not.
uplifting.
We're not uplifting our name.
We're not uplifting our name. We uplifting the names of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. We're going out and preaching the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So it's guess what? It's not at hand. If Jake don't want to come up and listen, it's not in vain. If Jake want to scoff, it's not in vain. If Jake want to say y'all teaching not the truth, guess what? It's not in vain because if it was in vain, this wouldn't come to naught. This wouldn't keep growing. Just like all these different black movements, they all came to naught. They all failed. But this isn't going to fail because we bringing up, we preaching the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. We uplifting those names. We're not uplifting black people trying to make it in America. What? No, America gonna be destroyed. What's wrong with you?
That word, that word steadfast, essentially going into unmovable, and then abounding. Psalms G 40:52. Let me see. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that. Oh, it's muted. Perisuo. All right,
Perisuo.
Yeah, to exceed, which ties in with the Google definition, but to exceed a fixed number of measure, to be left over and above a certain number of measure, to be over, to remain, to be great, abundant, to abound, overflow. To abound exist in large numbers or amounts. Okay, so hey, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. We should be doing over the top, type things for you. How about you, Mashai? That's part of being consistent, part of, continuing in what you have learned. Okay, and because ultimately, as I said, your labor is not in vain. So you might have a day where you do a little bit more over the top. You done did 2-3 videos. You read a whole book. I ain't saying like 60 chapters, but I'm saying like, you got some scriptures. It's about like 8 chapters or something, 8-10 chapters or whatever. So you read that whole thing, or about half of it. You watch about 2-3 hours worth of videos. Hey, sometimes it's gonna be like that. Sometimes it's gonna be you just getting the we'll say bare minimum in, but it's still, what I'm saying, you still putting in shit, you still putting in more work than a nigga. So because we, like I said, it's, the Most High is balanced. We're not gonna every day. We're not gonna do the tip top of it. 2-3 videos. Like I said, 8 chapters. You read 8 chapters. Then after you read your 8 chapters, you spent 4 hours watching videos. You studied your Hebrew. Then you went into the history. You're not gonna have that every day. Some days you're gonna have it to where you got about an hour in the videos. You read a couple chapters. You did a lesson, and then shit happens. Now we don't we don't tell brothers that to say shoot for that. No, you shoot for more, but because I got this too. Because if you ain't doing what your portion, then you consider slothful, man. Everybody, and everybody by now, especially if you've been in this thing for a good amount of years, you should know your portion. Okay. Hebrews 6. I'll start at 10 because that scripture spoke about the labor not being in vain. Hebrews 6:10, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which he has showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. So, hey, your work's not in vain, man. Okay? Most High is not unrighteous to forget your works. Okay? He's remembering everything you're doing. Verse 11, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. Okay? Because slothful, that word, Strong's G3576, looks like notros. Yeah.
Strong's G3576. Okay. Nothras.
Yep, notras.
Nothras.
Slow, sluggish, indolent. Yep, indolent, dull, languid. Okay. There's scriptures about the sluggard. The slothful. All right, we don't have room to be slothful, especially in the times we're coming into, man. We're coming into very treacherous times. We need to be pushing. It needs to be all gas, no brakes. But that's all I had.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I had. Just Jake, hey, myself included. Can't you say, like Jake? Oh, myself included.
Right.
Hey, you point your finger. I got 4 of them pointed back at me, so yes, you too. Jake beat all in the camera like, Jake got to get his shit together. No, you too, Jake. But yeah, so we all got to be consistent. Starting myself first. So hey, but got to be consistently, being in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because being in the spirit, you got to be consistently. Because if you're in the spirit, you can maneuver through situations, better than being in that world spirit. Because somebody step on your shoes. If you're in the world spirit, you may mean mother. But hey, if you're in the spirit, you're like, it's all good, Jake. Shit. At the end of the day, guess what? You're not taking them shoes into the chariot.
Fucking.
Them Jordans ain't going to the chariot, Jake.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of times, really a lot of them, when niggas be doing that shit, like it really be an accident 95% of the time. If a nigga intentionally come up, step on your shit, even then, like okay, but it's like damn, nigga. But he walking and nigga, he neck, you might be in very perimeter of him. He step on your shoe. Then he say my bad. There's no reason to get mad at this shit. Nigga apologize, That's the thing, like you said, man, being in the spirit, we're not saying that like you reading all day. Like, no, being in the spirit, like how you operate outside of the camera.
Mm-hmm. Camera cut off.
Yeah. Camera cut off, the live is ended. Nobody's tapped in. It's just you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever scenario the Most High is put in front of you. So you got to move through the spirit. And that's really the Most High's testing. The videos are important, but he's testing the how you maneuver outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you are, but you had anything?
That was it.
Yeah, well, we just wanted to put that up real quick, man. Spirit, man, Lord's will. It was edifying to your elect, you brothers and sisters out there watching. Before we close, once again, giving all praise and the glory to Yahweh. And double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who we love and taught us this truth. All right, peace, much love, and salutations to the elect. To the next one, shalom.
Shalom.